Hello, and welcome to this JAMUARY video, where we'll be taking a little trip to the West Coast thanks to this Serge Edelweiss panel. Now in this video I have something old, a patch from a good year or so ago, something new, this patch for JAMUARY, something borrowed, let's lie and pretend I borrowed these couplers, something blue, and just joking aside, this is based on an old patch, my first ever Serge patch from August 2018, I believe. I'll screenshot the file for the actual date. Now I just got this Edelweiss panel back then, took it straight around to Matthew Shaw's place, who I will link a great video I did with Matthew Shaw in the description. You may remember him from the Modular podcast, live streams and episodes that we did too. He gave me all these tips to kind of get the most out of this Edelweiss panel at the time, and we made a patch. Now I don't have any video of it, I have audio and an image, which I'll play in a second, and for JAMUARY I wanted to recreate it. Now, an in-depth look at the fairly advanced synthesis techniques in turning this basically control modulator-like panel, it's not a synth voice, into a synth voice, and then I had some ideas of building CV sequencers when you don't have a CV sequencer. I'll run through it briefly here with the remake, but let's listen to the original patch, and I'll just overlay the image. You can try and follow the patch cables if you wish from that particular time. Snapping forward to reality to today, here is this patch that, other than these effects, which I'll let you hear fully wet, is entirely the Serge panel. Now the original patch had some Bug Brand PT delay, this has the Bafako Crush delay, nice noisy PT delay, and the EOS reverb from Audio Damage, a discontinued module. I'll leave the effects off. I've tried to remake this for JAMUARY. Turning some things down, unplugging some cables, let's have a quick look. So this slope drives all my sequencing and my level modulation. You can follow the LED. My mixed sound comes out into the smooth stepped, and I'm using the rate of the slew, which has a little bit of a crackly pot, with this looping envelope, just to control the sound. This is using these couplers, taking gate out to trigger in to make it loop. It's really just an oscillator, and then driving the trigger ins of the other slopes from this one. So the one underneath, if I mix its output in, you can hear it's giving me these chordal like tones, mixing this one in, and with this one I'm modulating it from a divide 7 and divide 8 gates, so you can hear kind of shifts up an octave. That's these divided clocks actually modulating it. Now using a volt per octave, now using a sequence into the volt per octave in, it's far from volt per octave. Driving this then drives these. So I get my three oscillators mixed together. not managed to fine tune this quite as beautifully in terms of the chord type tones I'm getting out of the patch from a couple of years ago, but I'm going to keep tweaking, and again in the follow-up video that's longer I'll try my best to get that. But you can hear I'm getting these different chord tones mixing together. Actually building the sequencer is a case of taking this gate out, which is making it loop and controlling the level with its shape, using that through the clock divider to then drive the gate sequencer and the divider, and I'm mixing step 2 and 5 from the gate sequencer into here and just giving them a little bit of level or inverted level. Even if I take this one out, let's speed this up. Hopefully you can see the LEDs there. When it hits 2, it's higher. When it hits 5, it's lower. Timing's changing here because I'm using some sample and hold to modulate this. I could remove that. So this is actually scaling gates and inverting gates on these attenuators to make the sequence. Also taking a divide out, divide 5 here. This mixes with the gate sequence with a bit of level. And the output, which I can scale, this is just offsetting the mix of these gates and divided clock. So I've made a little fake sequencer, if you like. I mean, it's not fake, it really is sequencing. Sample and hold to drive my main clock source. And that's the patch, using non-voice-like stuff to make synth voices. Definitely like to explore this more in the future. I'm keen to get this Serge and some other Serge I have coming on the channel more in the future, because the synthesis and all the ideas here and techniques can be applied to Eurorack and other formats. So it'd be nice to do some Serge. Let's get those effects back in. Let this play out for January. Hope that's maybe given you some thoughts or ideas on how you can apply some of these techniques in your systems, be they Serge or otherwise. It's nice to take a little trip to the West Coast, try and remake my first ever patch, and just enjoy this Edelweiss panel. Lots of links in the description. I'll see you next time. I'm going to leave this playing. Support my work on patreon.com/DivKid. See you next time. Bye.